Genesis chapter 25. Abraham married another wife whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shu. Jokshan became the father of Sheba and Dedan. The descendants of Dedan were the Ashurim, the Lutushim, and the Lumim. The descendants of Midian were Ephah, Hanok, Abida, Ilda. All of these were descendants of Keturah. Abraham deeded everything that he owned to his son Isaac. To his sons by concubinage, however, he made grants while he was still living, as he sent them away eastward to the land of Kedem, away from his son Isaac. The whole span of Abraham's life was 175 years. Then he breathed his last, dying at a ripe old age, grown old after a full life, and he was taken to his kinsmen. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar the Hittite, which faces Mamre. The field that Abraham had bought from the Hittites. There he was buried next to his wife Sarah. After the death of Abraham, God blessed his son Isaac, who made his home near Berlahairoi. These are the descendants of Abraham's son Isaac, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's slave, bore to Abraham. These are the names of Ishmael's sons, listed in the order of their birth: Nebaioth, Ishmael's firstborn; Kedar, Adbeel, Mibesham, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kadema. These are the sons of Ishmael, their names by their villages and encampments, 12 chieftains of as many tribal groups. The span of Ishmael's life was 137 years. After he had breathed his last and died, he was taken to his kinsmen. The Ishmaelites ranged from Havilah by Shur, which is on the border of Egypt, all the way to Ashur, and each of them pitched camp in opposition to his various kinsmen. This is the family history of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham had begotten son Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebeccah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padam Aram, and the sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac entreated the Lord on behalf of his wife since she was sterile. The Lord heard his entreaty, and Rebeccah became pregnant. But the children in her womb jostled each other so much that she exclaimed, "If this is to be so, what good will it do to me?" She went to consult the Lord, and he answered her, "Two nations are in your womb, two people are quarreling while still within you, but one shall surpass the other, and the older shall serve the younger." When the time of her delivery came, there were twins in her womb. The first to emerge was reddish, and his whole body was like a hairy mantle, so they named him Esau. His brother came out next, gripping Esau's heel, so they named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when they were born. As the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man who lived in the open, whereas Jacob was a simple man who kept to his tents. Isaac preferred Esau because he was fond of game, but Rebekah preferred Jacob. Once, when Jacob was cooking a stew, Esau came in from the open. Famished, he said to Jacob, "Let me gulp down some of that red stuff. I'm starving." That is why he was called Edom. But Jacob replied, "First give me your birthright in exchange for it." "Look," said Esau, "I'm on the point of dying. What good will any birthright do me?" But Jacob insisted, "Swear to me first." So he sold Jacob his birthright and an oath. Jacob then gave him some bread and the lentil stew, and Esau ate, drank, got up, and went his way. Esau cared little for his birthright. Chapter 26. There was a famine in the land, distinct from the earlier one that had occurred in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went down to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. The Lord appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt, but continue to camp wherever in this land. I tell you, stay in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. For to you and your descendants I will give all this, in fulfillment of the oath that I swore to your father Abraham. I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky, and give them all these lands, and in your descendants all the nations of the earth shall find blessings. This because Abraham obeyed me, keeping my mandate, my commandments, my ordinance, and my instructions." So Isaac settled in Gerar. When the men of the place asked questions about his wife, he answered, "She is my sister." He was afraid if he called her his wife, the men of the place will kill him on account of Rebeccah, since she was very beautiful. But when he had been there for a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, happened to look out of a window and was surprised to see Isaac fondling his wife Rebeccah. He called for Isaac and said, "She must certainly be your wife. How could you have said, 'She is my sister'?" Isaac replied, "I thought I might lose my life on her account." "How could you do this to us?" exclaimed Abimelech. "It would have taken very little for one of the men to lie with your wife, and you would have thus brought guilt upon us." Abimelech therefore gave this warning to all his men: "Anyone who molests this man or his wife shall forthwith be put to death." Isaac sowed a crop in that region and reaped 100-fold the same year. Since the Lord blessed him, he became richer and richer all the time until he was very wealthy indeed. He acquired such flocks and herds and so many work animals that the Philistines became envious of him. The Philistines had stopped up and filled the dirt all the wells that his father's servants had dug back in the days of his father Abraham. So Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us, you have become far too numerous for us." Isaac left there and made the Wadi Gerar his regular campsite. Isaac reopened the wells which his father's servants had dug back in the days of his father Abraham, and which the Philistines had stopped up after Abraham's death. He gave them the same names that his father had given them. But when Isaac's servants dug in the wadi and reached spring water in their well, the shepherds of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's servants, saying, The water belongs to us. So the well was called Esek, because they had challenged him there. Then they dug another well, and they quarreled over that one too. So it was called Sitnah. When he had moved on from there, he dug still another well, but over his own, if this one, they did not quarrel. It was called Rehoboth, because he said, "The Lord has now given us ample room, and we shall flourish in the land." From there, Isaac went up to Beersheba. The same night the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. You have no need to fear, since I am with you. I will bless you and multiply your descendants for the sake of my servant Abraham." So he built an altar there and invoked the Lord by name. After he had pitched his tent there, his servants became to dig a well nearby. Abimelech had meanwhile come to him from Gerar, accompanied by Ahuzzath, his counselor, and Phicol, the general of his army. Isaac asked them, "Why have you come to me, saying that you hate me and have driven me away from you?" They answered, "We are convinced that the Lord is with you, so we propose that there be a sworn agreement between our two sides. Between you and us, let us make a pact with you. You shall not act unkindly towards us, just as we have not molested you, but have always acted kindly toward you and have let you depart in peace. Henceforth the Lord's blessings be upon you." Isaac then made a feast for them, and they ate and drank. Early the next morning they exchanged oaths. Then Isaac bade them farewell, and they departed from him in peace. That same day Isaac's servants came and brought him news about the well they had been digging. They told him, "We have reached water." He called it Sheba, hence the name the city Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basemath, daughter of Elon the Hivite. But they became a source of embitterment to Isaac and Rebeccah. The word of the Lord.